for Justin Sun. So, look, we all know Justin Sun. He's like the star of Hong Kong crypto. But we don't know this guy right here, Zach, who came all the way from the US to talk to us in Hong Kong. So, Zach, tell us about your crypto origin story and how you came about with World Liberty Foundation and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so in terms of how I got into crypto, I guess we kind of have to take it back before crypto. I went to law school, and very quickly I realized I didn't want to be a lawyer.
Good call.
Yeah, probably like within the first year or two, I knew I didn't want to be a lawyer. But I mean, it was a great experience. I learned a lot, and was really interested in, particularly in like real estate, contract law, stuff like that. And when I came out of law school, I actually, with my partner Chase Hero, founded a digital advertising and customer acquisition business. We focused on marketing, customer acquisition, product sales, and it was about 2016 when a really good friend of mine who's very much in the crypto space told me that I needed to read the Ethereum white paper. Now, prior to that, I already knew about crypto because I had a lot of friends that were poker players, and they used Bitcoin to settle poker transactions. But like, I'm not a big poker player myself, so I didn't see the vision of like Bitcoin as going to revolutionize the global financial system. I didn't have that early vision, and because I wasn't a poker player, I didn't really dive into Bitcoin. It just wasn't that interesting. But when I read the Ethereum white paper and understood the power of being able to do business with people around the world in a trustless manner where two parties can work together without having to see each other face to face, and best of all, eliminate the attorneys. Yep. We work with a lot of lawyers, so don't get me wrong, they're great people. But I realized that this was going to revolutionize absolutely everything. And so my partner Chase and I basically went all in on Ethereum.
Nice. But now, fast forward to the current era, your project holds Ethereum, of course, but then also the second largest holding is TRX. So how did you learn about TRON and meet Justin? What's the story there?
Well, I mean, I think everybody in crypto knows about TRON. I mean, it's like you'd have to be living under a rock to not know about TRON, right? I think you guys are the largest stablecoin minting chain of all time, right?
Yes.
I think there's more stablecoins that exist on TRON than anywhere else.
Yes.
How much do you guys have now? Like $60 billion?
Yeah, 62 billion.
62 billion. That's a lot of stablecoins. So it's really hard to not know about Justin. Like, even when I first got into crypto, I already respected Justin as an OG of the space. Probably one of the most influential people in the entire crypto sphere. So, I mean, I've known about Justin for very, very long time.
Yeah. So then how did you meet Zach? What's your story here?
Yeah, so basically, I love the project, World Liberty Fi. I think it's a great project focusing on bridge traditional finance with the crypto world. And that's what we need, right? Since in the last 5 years, I think the whole industry has spent so much time, energy on building the crypto to mainstream. So that's why when I first heard about the project, I think it makes sense. So we collaborate very quickly, right? And until now, yeah, I think it's gonna go well.
Cool. So you guys had an ICO, Zach, last year. And some people called that a failure of an ICO. But you had no VCs behind you. It was all organic.
That's right.
Was it a failure?
So I guess it depends on who you ask. When we were launching this project, it was a very heated time, let's say. And there was a lot of scrutiny on our project due to, who's involved, right? And so we felt very confident, and not just us, our attorneys felt very confident that our governance token is a governance token, it's a utility token. Sure. The sole utility of the token is governance, right? And that governance was live on day one. But for us, the token sale was never really the goal of the project. The goal of the project is, as Justin alluded to, being able to create products that actually merge the traditional financial institution with decentralized finance. And we're doing that through a whole range of products and applications that we're actually developing and we're going to be shipping. So for us, the whole idea was, you know, if this token sale doesn't go well, it doesn't really matter to us. For us, it's a means to market the project, get awareness, and distribute governance throughout the crypto community. So when we were looking at this, we were like, what's the worst possible outcome? Yeah. And the worst possible outcome was getting caught up in all of this lawfare and being, you know, political collateral, right? Sure. Yeah. So we decided that even though our attorneys and everyone felt very comfortable that this was a utility token, why don't we go ahead and just, you know, register and go with a Reg D, Reg S offering, KYC, accredited investors inside the United States, and just take a belts and suspenders approach, because whether the token sale is successful or not, we don't want to get caught up debating whether this is a security, not a security, et cetera, because the previous administration, as everybody knows, was very, I wouldn't even say unfriendly, they were anti-crypto. So we didn't want to get caught up in a situation where, you know, these amazing products and partnerships that we've been working so hard to put together and really move the industry forward comes to a screeching halt before we even come out the gates.
For sure, because, you know, back then it was so complex where the SEC was going after everyone unfairly, right? Yep. But times have changed in the US. Yeah. With the Trump administration, they've taken a very pro-crypto approach.
Sure.
You guys, you're a big beneficiary of that.
Yeah, so back to whether or not it was a success or a failure, I think because we didn't have that VC, you know, capital behind us on day one, I also think that people were a little nervous to get involved with holding the token and buying the token before the November 5th results were in, because people didn't know what was actually going to happen and what the landscape was going to be. So we set out to sell $300 million of our token, which was 20% of the supply at a 1.5 billion valuation. We heard everything from it's too high, the valuation's too high, to, you know, well, what's the point of doing this before November 5th? Whatever it is, we heard it all. Yeah. But this guy right here saw what very few people saw, which is, regardless of the outcome, this project itself is a monumental move forward for crypto and the entire industry and the community. So once everything kind of fell in place and we got the support of Justin, and he came in and purchased a bunch of tokens in the public sale, everything kind of snowballed from there. And then not only did we sell the initial 300 million worth of tokens that we had set out to sell, we opened an additional 5% at a $5 billion valuation, and that's almost sold out right now. So that's going to sell out very shortly, I would assume. And when we do that, we will be the 4th largest ICO of all time. And we managed to do that with no VC backing, no special treatment to anybody who purchased the token. And we did it with complete KYC and US accreditation in place.
Yeah, by the rules, by the book. So
even more than by the book.
There is a rumor out there that there was a deal with some companies for token swaps where they would pay and get a fee in response for promotion and that kind of stuff. Is that true, or is that?
So I've seen that going around. The person who was going out and purporting to represent us is not connected with our company.
Okay.
We never sent them out to do that. We found out about it, and it obviously caused confusion. But no, we haven't done any token swaps to date.
Okay.
And to be honest, the funny thing is, because I've seen articles about it, if you look on chain, all of the tokens we hold, whether it's TRON or wrapped Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, Aave, etc., we bought on chain through a DEX. So it's, you know.
Well, I guess that's the beauty of blockchain. It's all transparent, where you can see this on the record, on the ledger, and you can just say, don't believe my word for it, you know, check out on chain.
Yeah.
Very cool. So moving over to TRON. So Justin, like TRON right now was a big success story of last year. TRX is up like 75%, beat Solana, beat Ethereum. Like, why is that? Like, why is it doing so well?
Yes, sure, totally. So first of all, I think be focused. So we have been focused quite long on stablecoin development. Currently, we are almost the number one stablecoin network in terms of like transaction volume. I think soon will be the holding protocol for most of the stablecoins. And also, by doing that, we are also focusing on DeFi. We built a Just Land protocol. Recently, we launched a decentralized stablecoin called USDD, which is also reached around $200 million TVL. And also, of course, we support World Liberty Fi. We try to grow and bridge the decentralized finance with the traditional finance altogether. And also, of course, I think we also pay some attention to memes, NFT developments, and what happened in the crypto space like every day. And also, I want to chime in a little bit about the tokenomics. TRON is also important. Actually, TRON is the only deflationary token among all the top 10 major cryptocurrency. Bitcoin, of course, we know is cut supply like every 4 years by half, but still Bitcoin is inflation crypto, and Ethereum, probably be deflation for 1 or 2 days, but most of the time is still inflation token. If we look at like Solana and other token, the inflation rate is even way higher. It's like 12%, 15%, something. Tron is the only crypto, if you check on the browser, it's transparent there. It's 2-3% deflationary every year. So one of the reason is because of the network activities, like everybody use it, just like Ethereum EIP 1559, people burn the Ethereum for the transaction. So that's why the overall the network is very healthy. It's more demand rather than the supply, and the people use it. And if you see the Tron K line, you will see, especially for monthly K line. So you will see it's growing like basically every month. I think with a good rate. Rather than I don't like crypto, to pump up like 10x, today and down, 90% tomorrow. I think a stable growth, right, is what everybody wants. That's also what you see what happened on Bitcoin. So that's also my vision for TRX. We want to do it like gradually successful in the long run.
Very cool. So you're right now at 64 billion of stablecoins issued on chain.
Yes.
Where's the demand coming from? Like, why are people using Tron for stablecoins and not, say, Ethereum or Solana or what have you?
Yes, totally. So first of all, I think Tron has become the default stablecoin payment network for everybody. I think we have seen at least $1 to $2 billion increase like every month on Tron about the supply of USDT. Actually, lots of people seeing Tron basically as the default like platform for stable transaction. For some of them, get into the Tron protocol, have no idea about Ethereum, like Solana, even crypto in the first place. They just get a crypto payment, get stablecoin payment. They thought it's just US dollar payment. So that's also something I think I'm proud of. We create this kind of the user experience. People don't need to get to know about stablecoin, get to know about Tether, get to know about Tron in the first place before they even using them.
Yeah, because, if we want to evolve cryptocurrency, we have to get away from the very complex technology, right?
Yes, yeah.
The wallets, people are nervous when they send 1,000 USDT to some long address, right? So I guess we have to work to like break down these barriers and make this UI UX boomer friendly, perhaps.
Exactly. Yes. Grandma friendly too.
Grandma friendly.
Yes.
All right, so like in the last few months, the US has changed a lot for crypto, where it used to be that Asia was the place you wanted to go to for crypto because they have a rule book here in Hong Kong and Singapore, wherever. But now the US is changing. Are you guys optimistic about the US? Do you see it as like the future home of all things crypto? Or is it like a multipolar world where you have multiple jurisdictions for crypto?
Yes, for myself, I totally bullish on the regulation in United States. I think like everything changed dramatically since last year, and we have seen lots of positive developments, I think, happen in United States. Lots of crypto companies is moving back, have their new branches in United States. And also we have seen, right, US has collaborated with Hong Kong, on this kind of the crypto development. I think Consensus CoinDesk is a great example. I think a year ago when I attend the Hong Kong, crypto festival, I predicted it's gonna be more international. We will see more international collaboration because at that time, Hong Kong crypto festival is more like native, Asia-based, Chinese-based crypto festival. But this year, right, look at what we have developed. Everybody in the world have come to Hong Kong, for the crypto conference. I think it's gonna keep going, like, and Hong Kong will be the center of the crypto in Asia too.
Okay, you think so? Zach, what do you think? Do you feel like Pride, where you can build at home without being worried about attorneys and the SEC and that kind of stuff?
Well, I don't think it's that you don't have to worry about it. I think that what everybody in crypto has been asking for are just clear rules and regulations. So the thing is that it's very difficult to build a business when you don't understand what the rules and regulations are. So I think what most people, most founders, and most people in the community want to see is just a clearly defined set of rules and regulations that every single project can set out and know, okay, here's what we're allowed to do, here's what we're not allowed to do. Whereas in the past, what it's been is even companies that are taking extra safe precautions are still being treated as if they're doing something wrong because there's no clarity and there's no guidelines or framework as to what actually is right and wrong. So I think that, or I'm hopeful that we're going to start to get some of that, and it becomes a place where founders and companies don't feel the need to move offshore, don't feel the need to go elsewhere, and we can bring crypto back to the United States and make it, the crypto capital of the planet. And we've already started to see that. A lot of companies that have US founders, like Justin was saying, are already starting to come back to the US and be proud of the fact that they're US based.
For sure. Do you have like a wish list for crypto rules to change in the US, Zach or Justin? Like, what do you want to see change the most? Like, do you have the top 3 things you want to see happen?
Yeah, I hope, like, next, like, consensus event in New York, because I started to attend a consensus event in New York, back like in 2018. So it's 7 years now. I think for my top wish list, I can attend the consensus in New York, probably in 10-year anniversary. Something.
Okay, we'll have Justin sign the keynote when we're back in the U.S. speaking there.
Yes.
So going back to stablecoins for a second, there's a belief that TRON's the network of trouble for stablecoins. The bad stuff, drugs, guns, all that nonsense.
Yes.
But you guys have worked close with Tether and TRM Labs to build out a unit to like fight bad actors and fight crime. Can you talk about that? Because we reported actually in CoinDesk that you guys hit $100 million of frozen funds with this group.
Yes, totally. We are very open to the global law enforcement regulators to combat illicit activities. Actually, we are also one of the best in this area. I won't mention the competitor names, but actually we freeze most of the illicit funds. I think within a few hours, it's get reported by other police, which is it's the golden time. It's important because the first 12 hours is the most like precious time. But the competitor got 6 months to react in any way. So that's why I think we have like a very robust team, which we're gonna talk about that I think in the next panel, right? We have the best data analysis company in the world, best stablecoin protocol company in the world. We guarantee, the stablecoin and the crypto technology will only be used for the legal activities. So that's why I think we also get lots of like thank you letters from all government authorities around the world. And they kind of like impressed by our reaction and the whole structure and put on the great help on their operations. So that's something I'm proud of, and we will continue to invest and even build more team on that. I think we are not only gonna prove we are the #1 in the regulation or for the authority in crypto world, but also we want to make law enforcement authorities believe we are actually doing better job for Standard Chartered, HSBC, those big traditional banks.
Yeah, because like it's one thing for us to talk about crypto and on-chain data, but to get like some judge or some cop to understand how this whole thing works, that's the missing key, which you guys, I think, are doing quite well at TRM Labs.
Yes, totally. For lots of government authorities, it's hard for them to understand crypto in the first place. And then when they find out something goes wrong, the money is in the hands of the bad actor. So that's why we want to shorten those time period, right? To make sure the money gets back, right? And the authority get educated, and they will next time they will do it faster, to make sure crypto is the same with in terms of safety, in terms of the regulation friendly, is similar to the banks. So that's also like very important. I think what we do here and collaborate with the law enforcement like globally to make sure it happens.
You think that's the biggest barrier to adoption, is that law enforcement still doesn't trust crypto? Like, is there other things as well for that?
Yeah, besides user experience, right? Definitely, I believe this is also one of the key here, right? Hopefully, like one day we will see, U.S. government even trust their money with cryptocurrency, right? Right now, I think they only have cryptocurrency because they confiscated from like other bad actors, right? But U.S. government didn't really put their all money into cryptocurrency more. I think other government, have the similar situation. But we want to make sure it's safe, user experience, easy to understand, and eventually government can trust crypto with their own money, right?
So you think one day we'll have the Fed owning Bitcoin alongside dollars and gold, maybe?
Yeah, totally.
Zach, what do you think? We have that reserve of Bitcoin in the U.S.?
I mean, it sounds good to me. It sounds good to me.
Exactly. Okay. So one of the big themes, this year has been, meme tokens, right? We have meme tokens about politics, about jokes, all that kind of stuff. Do you guys think that memes are like the future of crypto, or are they like one part of the broader ecosystem?
Yeah, sure. I definitely believe meme is the future of crypto. But I recently, right, we have seen, right, some like meme token has go down like dramatically. I think one of the reason is you need to do meme token in the right way, right? So we cannot do like meme token like PvP, like a rug pool, the crypto traders. Back then, for example, today, you've seen some of the meme coin launch on the platform is get like super high valuation. At first, when they launch, price go down, it's just similar to like VC coins, right? So back then, when I first know about Peep, Shiba, like Dogecoin. It's trading by the community for quite a long time, and without like anyone take it like seriously in the first place. I remember like when I buy like Dogecoin in the exchange and in the Reddit, I saw those Reddit posts, like Dogecoin is, first of all, the value is almost zero and nobody take it seriously, right? I think that's the best way, to launch a meme coin. Today, I think lots of meme coins try to make the investor on the day one to believe, oh, this is something way more than meme coin. It's not just a joke. It's something big, like Bitcoin, right? I think actually they are doing the opposite, right? Because when I find out the best meme coin of all time when they first launch, people see it as a joke. And then after that, for quite a long time, people find out, oh, it's actually more than a joke. Yeah. It's something else. This is kind of when I see the best meme coin in the world, like how it evolves, how it gets famous. Rather than like most of the meme coin we've seen in the market today, high market cap launch and then go zero, like everybody lose their confidence on the token.
That's also a problem with VC tokens because the VC comes in, they pump it up, and then they dump it on retail. And for World Liberty, you guys ignored VCs pretty much. You went just with, investor.
To be fair, VCs ignored us, and so we took a very anti-VC approach when we realized that they wanted nothing to do with us, and we realized that we want nothing to do with them, and it actually led to a much better result because what turned out was basically a fair launch, right? Yeah. Where every single person, so I'm sure that there are VCs that purchased, but they did it through the public sale. Sure. And I don't know who they are, but I'm sure they exist, right? There's only one VC fund that I know that purchased it, and they purchased it at the 1.5 billion valuation, and then came back and bought more at the 5 billion valuation. Okay. Yeah, and they bought sizable amounts at both. Okay. So they didn't get a discount. They didn't even ask for a discount. And so in my mind, the problem with VCs, not that they don't have a place in the industry, but it's that the majority of them are predatory. Okay. They want to come in, they want to get something for less than anybody else can get it for, and then they want to use the public and retail as exit liquidity so that they can make their money and move on to the next thing. And that's just not what crypto's about. Crypto is about giving everybody access to the same information, the same opportunities, etc. And if you're going to allow a VC to come in and get something that's not available to anybody else, it's almost very anti-crypto in my opinion.
Sure. So why do you think that VCs ignored you? Was it the Trump connection or something else, or what?
I think a lot of them weren't willing to do what Justin did, which was take a risk. They don't want it. The funny thing is, you think about a VC and you think, oh, they risk capital, but they really don't. That's the exact opposite, right? VCs are not out there taking any risks. What they want to do is they want to engineer everything so that they win, and even if it's at the expense of somebody else. Yeah. And so
they need to change name to SC, right? Like venture capital become secure capital,
Yeah. Right. You think that with venture capital, they would expect some losses and some risk, but it seems like they want a safe investment like real estate in some ways.
They want a guaranteed 10x, and it's just, that's not what crypto is about.
Yeah, it seems like also a way for people to lose confidence in crypto if they think that some elite in Wall Street will just, rig the whole mechanism.
Well, why they're not wrong. That's what's happened for a long time. And so, our whole thing is we want to make ICOs great again. I remember back in the day, ICOs were good. People were able to get involved in projects and, everyone had access to the same thing. Yeah. And that's just not what we've seen in the last few years.
I think actually, if you were to have to bought the top ICO tokens during the boom era of 2017, right now, you'd be up a lot, right? You would have beat everyone else on that. But ICOs were like the bad thing for the markets. Yeah.
Well, I think also part of that was because there wasn't a lot of regulation, and people were making promises that they shouldn't have been making and stuff like that. So again, that was a big piece of what we did at World Liberty, was make sure that not only did we feel like we fit into the existing regulatory framework, but we took a belts and suspenders approach by going even further. And one of the criticisms that we got, especially in the US from investors or retail, was like, oh, this is only for the elites because I'm not an accredited investor. I don't meet the standard. I can't buy. And it's like, well, if you think about it, that's not to keep people from not having an opportunity. It's to keep people from taking undue risk that they can't take the burden of. And you see that going back to your previous question about meme coins. How many people are on Twitter right now complaining that they lost their life savings on a meme coin that got rugged? It's like, look, I'm not going to give someone financial advice, but I think it's pretty stupid to risk your entire life savings on a meme coin, right? So that's why I think that what we did, like, while it seems a little restrictive, at the same time, it's actually in the benefit of the entire, population in general. That's what the SEC is there for, is to protect investors and,
There is a point to some rules, right? You don't want like a laissez-faire environment. You want some rules, but smart rules.
Exactly. Fair rules that make sense by people that understand the industry, and then apply those rules and regulations uniformly to everybody. That's what's important.
Okay, for sure. To wrap things up, so what's next for you guys? What's your plan for this year?
Yeah, so as we move away from the token sale and we conclude that, the next thing is to start focusing on what the true goal of World Liberty Financial is, which is to build products that actually bridge traditional finance with decentralized finance. And so you're going to see all of the projects and all of the products that we've actually been working very hard on behind the scenes start to come out over the next few weeks and the next few months. And I think everybody who took a wait-and-see approach is going to be very unhappy that they didn't support from day one.
Okay, good to know. Justin, what about you guys? What's next for you?
Yeah, we launched USDD a few weeks ago. It's grown to $200 billion. $200 million.
Yeah.
I speak for my
That'd be
gym
a
members.
massive stablecoin if it was that much.
Yes.
Yeah.
So $200 million, we will continue to build that. I think our target will be double the market cap, I think, very soon. We want to collaborate with all the exchanges. Right now, we provide like very high yield, I think around 20%. We will close monitor on that, to see like how it benefits our community. And also besides that, I think this year we also have an AI product we're gonna launch very soon. It's a DeepSeek based, large language mode. We will launch like quite soon. I think in Q2 something as well.
Share more about that right now?
Yeah, sure, totally. So we just because right now the AI mode has become transparency, and everybody can check the code, build on that. It's actually kind of like remind me of something back to ICO stage. Everything started to become like open source. You can check on them, develop on your own. Everybody can have it on blockchain. At that time. Yeah, I think AI have similar effects. So that's why we are launching AI protocol. I think powered by TRON protocol as well. You can basically pay with stablecoin on TRON network to get your own AI mode. I think that's something we're gonna launch like very soon. I still believe AI plus blockchain, the combination will be very powerful.
Okay, so that's your big focus for this next coming year, AI plus blockchain?
Yes, totally.
Very cool. Well, guys, that was great. Thanks for your time.
Of course, thank you.
Thank you, everybody.